Welcome back to my channel, Techno Trend Zone. The iPad 11th generation, or the 2025 iPad, whatever you want to call it, is coming soon, and there's a major shocker about its price that I need to share with you. This new iPad is expected to be priced higher than the 10th gen model, and today, I'll break down exactly why Apple is making this move. Plus, I'll cover all the latest details, including potential upgrades and changes that might surprise you. So, let's dive right into what we can expect from Apple's next budget-friendly tablet. A look back. The evolution of the iPad lineup. The 10th generation iPad was a significant upgrade over previous models. Apple finally revamped the design to match the iPad Air, moving away from the classic home button layout seen in the 9th gen and older models. That iteration also introduced USB-C charging, the A14 Bionic chip, and compatibility with the Magic Keyboard Folio. Additionally, Apple later introduced support for a more convenient USB-C Apple Pencil, eliminating the clunky lightning cable method required for older models. When the 10th gen iPad first launched, its price tag was $449, but over time, Apple adjusted it. By mid-2024, the price dropped to $349, and if you shopped around, you could find deals as low as $280. Occasionally, some retailers even listed it at $250. An absolute steal for a device of its capabilities. However, with the 11th generation iPad, we're likely looking at a price hike, and there are some key reasons behind this decision. Chipset and performance. A major shift for the iPad 11th gen. One of the biggest changes coming with this iPad is the chipset. The 10th gen model packed the A14 chip, but by 2025, Apple will be several generations ahead. Currently, we are in the A18 series, and Apple is heavily pushing its new AI-powered Apple Intelligence features. That means an outdated chip, such as the A15 or even the A16, would not be ideal for this new iPad. This leaves Apple with three possible options: the A17 Pro, the A18, or the A18 Pro. While some believe the A17 Pro might be included, I find this unlikely. The iPad mini currently runs on the A17 Pro and starts at $499. If Apple were to include that chip in the 11th gen iPad, they'd likely have to increase its base price to $599, or lower the iPad mini's price to $399. However, turning the mini into a budget iPad doesn't align with Apple's current strategy. Instead, I believe Apple will opt for the standard A18 chip. This ensures Apple Intelligence integration while keeping costs relatively manageable. The A18 also features a USB 2.0 controller, meaning USB-C transfer speeds will remain at a basic level, similar to the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus. However, we should still see a noticeable jump in overall performance compared to the 10th gen model. Price speculation. How high will it go? If Apple includes the A18 chip, we're almost certainly looking at a price increase. I predict a starting price of $499, aligning it with the iPad mini. Given the larger display and upgraded processor, this price bump makes sense. However, Apple could introduce a slightly underclocked version of the A18 to keep costs under control. Now, some may argue that Apple might push the price to $599, similar to how they priced the iPhone 16e. But that would create a pricing dilemma. The iPad Air currently starts at $699 and runs on the M3 chip. If Apple pushes the 11th gen iPad to $599, it would be too close in price to the iPad Air, making it a tough sell. So, keeping it at $499 seems like the most logical move. What about the iPad 10th gen? Will it stick around? Here's something interesting. I believe Apple will keep selling the 10th gen iPad for at least another year. We saw a similar pattern with the 9th gen iPad, which coexisted with the 10th gen model for some time. If Apple follows this strategy, the 10th gen could stay at its current price of $349, making it a more affordable alternative for those who don't need Apple Intelligence features. Over time, Apple might drop its price further to $299 or even $250, making it an even more attractive budget option. Performance insights. How fast will the A18 be? The A18 chip is shaping up to be incredibly powerful. In multi-core performance, it's expected to match or exceed the M1 chip found in older iPad Pro models. Single-core performance, on the other hand, will likely surpass the M1, M2, and even M3 chips. This means the 11th Gen iPad could be one of the fastest non-Pro iPads ever released. If you're looking for a budget iPad with premium performance, this might be the one to get. Potential release date and final thoughts. The 11th Gen iPad is expected to launch in the first half of 2025. Given that Apple typically refreshes its entry-level iPads every 2 years, a spring or early summer 2025 release seems most likely. If you're considering upgrading, you have 2 solid options. Either grab a heavily discounted 10th Gen model while it's still available, or wait for the 11th Gen iPad with its improved chipset and Apple Intelligence capabilities. What do you think? Will you be upgrading to the iPad 11th Gen? Or are you planning to stick with your current device? Let me know in the comments below. So, make sure you subscribe to Techno Trend Zone and turn on notifications to stay updated. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more updates on the iPad 11th Gen and other exciting tech releases in 2025.